In this video, we're going to be focusing on how you can make sure that you overcome fear of the phone. The phone is a fundamental tool and was absolutely critical for the early part of my career, where I was making about 300 cold calls every single day, grinding it out to try and make a name for myself in the city. So I'm going to walk you through some tips and tricks and ways that I think about making phone calls and giving myself the confidence to keep doing it over and over again, even when I'm getting rejected. And hopefully this is helpful to some of you. The first thing that I want you to do is to ask yourself a few questions before doing anything else. The first thing is, why are you actually scared of the phone? What is it that is breeding some kind of fear or terror in your mind when you think about making that phone call? What is it? Is it the fact that you don't want to get rejected? Is it that you're just concerned about what the person might say? Ask yourself that question and then think about, is it really that significant?
How did you go over it? You must have been at the same time. When you're picking up the phone, you must have been shitting yourself.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning. When I first started making calls, I was absolutely terrified. For some reason, I just couldn't bring myself to pick it up and go. And I remember within my first few calls, I started getting rejections and I found myself just falling off a cliff slowly mentally. Eventually, and this is the second point, I realized that the outcome that I was chasing, I wanted so much more than the rejection. I needed to book appointments and I wanted that more. I wanted the success more. I wanted to hit my goals more than I cared about what the other person might say or any form of rejection. The third thing I want to highlight, and I want you to ask yourself, is do you actually have a game plan on the call? The reason why a game plan can be so valuable is because it helps breed confidence when you're actually out there on the call. And the reason why it does this is you can map out some scenarios in your mind. So if someone says this or they reject me, this is how I'm going to respond. And as soon as I started doing that, I saw a massive difference in how confident I felt when making phone calls. So here's some actionable tips for you to consider to help you become best in class when it comes to making phone calls in future. One of the first things is to start doing role plays. And this is you getting your friends, family members, other people you know, and start doing mock calls with them. The reason role plays are so powerful is because they allow you to reenact what it would be like to make that phone call in real life, but in the safety blanket of someone that you know or you're comfortable with. Role plays were super valuable for me, especially early. I would call that friend or family member, go through the whole scenario with them, get their feedback, and it would help me to become better. The second thing that you can go and do is to actually record yourself making these calls. So I remember one point, and this was especially helpful for me when I had to do live scenarios out there on stage or in front of other people when I was training others. I would simply set my phone to record and I would go through those same phone call scenarios or practice my pitch. What was amazing was when I listened back to myself, at the beginning, I realized how bad I sounded, but I kept refining it and getting better. If you go through the process of recording yourself and listening back and thinking, I don't sound like that, I can assure you that is exactly how you sound. So practice until you feel comfortable with how you sound when you play yourself back on that recording. And the third point is you've got to be out there in the field and practice live. So I'd recommend start doing some of your low touch or less important calls and just start doing it, but get feedback from someone else. So a way you can do this is to get a call list, have your manager or have someone else that you know sit by you, make the live calls, ideally ones that are maybe less important in some way, and then get immediate feedback. Coaching from the right person, someone who's done it before or just another neutral observer, can be really valuable in helping you build more confidence, get some real-time feedback, and continue to practice in a live environment. So just to summarize, point number one is to make sure that you go out and do some role plays. Point number two is to make sure that you record yourself and listen to yourself back so you can get even better. And point number three is to go out and actually do it live, be out there in the field, have someone sit with you and get feedback. Something else to think about before I go is to remember that rejection is a little bit like in a relationship, right? No one wants to get rejected. Once you're able to get your mind over and past that, it will be the most powerful thing that you can do. It will breed confidence, it will help you become a warrior on that phone, and it will breed in you to just go out and make it happen. Don't let rejection be a blocker to your success. Go out, overcome, pick up that phone, make it happen. I hope that you guys enjoyed that video. Please be sure to smash that like button, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.